welcome back to another Space XPLR episode. Today we have a very special guest on today, so you have to make sure that you stick in and keep watching. We're going to be talking about a lot of different exciting stuff, everything when it comes down to space exploration and different projects, and a lot of great stuff that this man is working on currently and some future projects. So first of all, his name is HALIT Mirahmetoglu. Hopefully I didn't butcher your surname right there. So HALIT studied Astronomy and Space Sciences at Ege University, Turkey. He holds a medical that's degree in space management from ISU and joined the summer program in Beijing, China. He's currently pursuing the Ph.D. in space technologies at the National Defense University of Turkey. So HALIT accumulated over 4,000 hours of training experience delivering both formal and non-formal learning, training, as well as accumulated various international and intercultural working experiences in Barcelona, Tokyo, and Rome over the last decade. So he's the founder of Estonian-based consulting company Spaceagenda, which you can find more information about on spaceagenda.com, and Turkey-based TRC Space Technologies Training, Research, and Consulting Services, spacetrc.com. There's another resource. Currently, he's the general manager of GUHEM, that's Gokmen Space and Aviation Training Center. So his main goal is to set up more effective bridges between people, probably when it comes to space exploration and giving more information to those people. So HALIT, again, thank you for coming over today. Appreciate it.
That's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
That's no problem. I mean, I'm happy to have you on because, I mean, you're working on some incredible stuff. So I would love to bring more attention towards your projects that, and future stuff that you're going to be working on. So can you talk about your personal experience? I mean, can you talk about your personal passions? How did you ignite that passion and how did you decide to pursue all these different projects?
Well, in the beginning, it starts with my main major, which is astrophysics and astronomy. I was having many different interests, like the mathematics, physics, biology, chemistry, philosophy, everything. Then at the end, I found astronomy and space sciences covering engineering and everything all together. That's when I decided to study that. And afterwards, I was involved with many youth groups. And I was first, I met with the Space Generation Advisory Council. And then I found myself as the regional representative for the Middle East. And inside that group, there were many people, very active in NASA and European Space Agency all around the world. And right now they are entrepreneurs all around the world. That's good after 20 years, And then I met the International Space University, ISU, and then that we call it a kind of space family. And that's a continuous business. I mean, and then my family is also very related with space. Like my wife is working on the space policies. So I mean, we are very, entitled to space right now.
I love that. I love that. So can you talk about, for the people who are, coming on this kind of YouTube interview or they're listening on a podcast for the first time ever, and they kind of working, 9 to 5, they having bills to pay, families to feed, and do all these things that we do as people. So how people can get involved, and of course we can talk about the resources, the training centers, all of that, but for the people, like, what would you tell them, again, from kind of outreach standpoint, how you can learn more and why you should learn more about space and exploration?
I mean, space is, first of all, is interdisciplinary, which means if you are working on finance, there is a space finance. If you are a lawyer, there's a space law. If you are a doctor practicing, there is a space medicine. So that's why, I mean, there are lots of things to learn multidisciplinary. And of course, it's a personal interest we see most of the time, but there are professional courses like International Space University. And then you can, learn more about this interdisciplinary and international intercultural approach of space. And you can jump in as a professional career afterwards. Because really space is interdisciplinary, and most of the time it's not enough to learn only in one direction, in one discipline. You need to learn from other point of view. I mean, we have many space engineers, but they need to know about space law. from the legal point of view. That's why it's an ongoing learning process, and there are so many resources, but there is no only one resources that you can go, which I can, suggest on.
Mm-hmm. And I love that. So basically, whatever people are currently living life as, let's say, as I mentioned, as a lawyer, as a doctor, as something else, and different engineer, that could be applied in space also, and we need those people, right? So that's
Exactly.
good. So you don't need to make a completely different transition, go to astrophysics, or have a PhD degree, something. You can just transition from the current basically job that you have, and put more time, which is now a little bit more time available in our hands to explore and do other things as well. So can you talk about, again, about the Turkish Space Agency? I mean, what type of projects are you currently, working on? How big is it? And, what you're looking to do forward in the future with that as well as a country?
Uh, Turkey just established its space agency 2 years ago, roughly in 2018, and during this time they are still continuing its structure. I can't talk on their behalf because our center is not a part of this initiative, Space Agency. Of course, we will do some cooperations with the Space Agency, but our company is completely private from that point of view. So Turkish Space Agency established, and we are, I also personally participated some of its strategy meetings. Right now we are waiting for a space strategy paper to be published. I hope in the next months we will see a lancement for this new space agency, and our space, next steps, a kind of roadmap. I'm really looking forward to hear some of the things, like maybe human space flights. I don't know, what's the last decision on that. Because if there's a human space flights involved, of course, our center will be volunteer to do more. So we will see, I guess, in a couple of months. Of course, the pandemic made things a bit more hectic from this point of view, but we will see Turkish Space Agency, more active in the near future.
Got it. So something definitely look forward to, and get people excited in Turkey and in Europe as well. So, I mean, how much of that do you think? Because there's a lot of people who are observing these space agencies, NASA, ESA, and JAXA and ISRO, and they're thinking, okay, like everything is so slow. So how do you think those problems when it comes to, let's say, rules and regulations, when politics get involved, how can that be solved, let's say, for the future missions, let's say, and if different agencies wants to go to Mars, because that's kind of where eyeballs are right now at the moment. So how those problems, just from personal perspective, how those problems can be solved so everybody can kind of come in on one table and make those life-changing decisions for us as people.
Well, we see that procedures are slow, it's difficult, like countries for participating to the European space agencies, because there are so many wills, there are so many political decisions involved. But also the UN system, it's slow to decide for our future steps in space and the regulations. But especially a couple of months ago, we saw with the Artemis Accords from the United States that actually some countries can take initiative, and the others can, agree on some basic principles to continue with. So until now, it was 8, I guess. Ukraine also signed, so 9 countries agreed to work on lunar and of course the Mars program afterwards, with by just defining principles, because like interoperability, it's a problem. During the International Space Station, they had to operate things together, but of course the Russian, Japanese, American systems, European systems are different. So it was tough to use these resources together, uh, you know, And now the standards should be set according to these agreements, which I like actually. So this kind of agreements should be more active in the future, and I guess with the also some international corporations gets inside, it will be more than country's decision. You know, this big corporations will take lead also in the near future, I guess.
Definitely, and we see that happening with SpaceX and building a Starship, and having a fleet of rockets that are going to be dedicated towards going to Mars and colonizing Mars. So, what do you think personally? What could be happening quicker? Because we're talking about Mars, colonizing that, and going to the moon again with the Artemis mission, and probably creating some sort of a moon base that we can go back forward to and make groundbreaking science research and stuff. So what do you think? Which one could be happening faster? Should we go back to the moon? It's been done multiple times right now. Or should we focus on Mars? And what do you think? How long is that from a personal perspective, personal view? How long is that going to take for us to make it happen?
I mean, statistics gets interesting because for years I'm checking, how many flights, launch happening a year, how many satellites going up there every year, and it's exponentially going up. With the new rocket systems, it's getting easier and cheaper to go to the orbit, but still, like this solid or liquid things are not enough. I mean, we need a kind of revolution for launching systems in order to make it, cost effective for the new future. With this current point of view, technically we can do that, but we need to spend billions and billions. For demonstrations, yes, we can do that, but afterwards it will be like the moon, which like in the 70s, there were many people going, but the last one was in 72, I mean, we are not willing to go again there because it's not beneficial from cost point of view. So I guess still we have a will to go further to the moon first and to the Mars later on, and it's what's expressed by the highest people all around the world. But still, technologically, we need a kind of revolution to speed up these procedures.
Got it. Yeah. So definitely the technology is involved a lot into this. And again, with the current technology, let's say if we take, Elon Musk, for instance, and it takes more than 7 months to go one way to Mars. And a lot of people still think technology is a big issue, which it definitely is. We need to, make it more advanced and, find a different, again, people working on different propulsion systems to make sure that we can travel faster, longer distances. And it's not going to take 7 or 3 years, for us to do so. But what do you think when it comes to personally, because if you're talking about 10 years, 20 years about colonizing Mars, putting people on there, what do you think that's going to look like? Because in my personal view, and we had prior people on the show that you can guys and girls go and check it out. The people that are working on colonizing Mars, they're working with these projects and creating moon bases. And, we came to the conclusion that it's not the technology that's lacking in this. I mean, it's probably most of the time it's going to be the people. So what do you think is those people going to look like, the first ones that's going to be on Mars? I mean, is it even possible? And are we ready to create a society on Mars?
Well, yeah, that's the big question, actually. I mean, during the whole human space flight history, we saw that space is not easy for human body. If you stay longer, then you are losing your bones, your muscles, and when you go to another planet, everything is different, and we can't easily be adaptable to this new planet. So it's hard to estimate. I mean, I'm not working, from the life sciences point of view from this time, but from my technical point of view, it will be completely different. I mean, it's not 20, 30, 40 years, but probably a couple of hundred years later, it will be like another continent. Right now, I mean, we saw during the migration process, I mean, the Europeans right now move to US or North America. They are different people. They have different habits. They have different culture. They have different belonging right now. If you say you have let's Irish heritage, maybe they will refuse. No, I'm not. Maybe they will say I'm Martian. I'm not from Earth. I'm not human. Most probably.
Yeah, that is awesome. So there is a big topic to talk about Mars, but let's talk about decision-making process beside Gokmen Space Aviation and Education Center that just recently opened the door. So can you talk about who made the decision to came up with the center and what is the main idea behind it?
Okay, if you allow me, I want to show a little bit small video, and I can talk at the same time maybe. So this is our center, Gokmen Space and Aviation Training Center. It's a really huge building, more than 13,000 meters square closed area. It's you can consider that it's a kind of museum also. We have many simulations. We have some places for kids from 3 to 6 years old. And the first floor, it's completely for aviation. So, you can go by your own. You can just see different settings, different exhibition areas. And the second floor is completely for space. We are talking about Mars. We are talking about the remote sensing from astronomy, from International Space Station, from astronauts, robotics, hydroponic. By the way, I mean, these are renders, but they are sets. So we have everything in the center right now. So this center is the exhibition area of our training center. So, but it's not only that. So people will come like a science center. There will be some science communicators we have, and via that they can see many. They can feel also many different actions. In the first floor, we have a nice A320 Airbus. We cut it. So there are many people still who couldn't find an opportunity to get inside an airplane. Not only cockpit, I'm talking about, the inside the cabin. So we are giving this opportunity not only to kids, but all people who couldn't find this opportunity yet. We have a nice academy for aviation. So inside of this nice simulators, you can fly a Cessna and another type. They are really moving. It's not fully professional simulator, but inside of it, you can feel what this looks like, what this feels like to fly. And also these simulators are connected with the air traffic control. So it's not that easy. We are giving some challenges. We are controlling the weather. We are controlling the engines and giving some difficulties to those who are, piloting these devices. These are not only for kids, also for, adults we are using. The second floor is completely working for space. Of course, we have some rockets. In the first floor, we have the whole aviation devices. We are explaining how you can fly, actually. Like some of the devices, you are really using some wings, so you can feel the wind. In some devices, you are really trying to fly a machine, like the Bernoulli principle. We are trying to explain this kind of things. We have the International Space Station, robotics, hydroponics, explaining. We have 1/6 moonwalking simulators. So for kids, it's an unbelievable, amazing experience. So they can, walk on the moon. We are trying to explain how astronauts can move on the moon. We have a small planetarium in here and a bigger planetarium on the other side. What is important in this area, we will have many science communicators, so they can learn by themselves in interactive screens by trying to do things, but at the same time, they can always find some experts in the field to learn more. For curiosity on the Mars, we have robotics, so they can do by their own, explaining the spacesuits. And yes, I mean, as I said before, also 3 to 6 years old, we have a role play area. So it's not only just play, they can dress up like a pilot or like the ground services, and they can simulate how they do, you know. With the play in this area, they are just removing their shoes, and it's you know nice area for them to play. Yeah, this is the Gokmen Center. We inaugurated that exactly 1 month ago today. But unfortunately, because of the pandemic continues in here, we are not able to get the kids yet inside. We are still working on that, and hopefully when this pandemic gets disappear, hopefully we are aiming to bring many kids to our center. Our target is the primary and secondary school kids mainly, to give them more interest. But at the same time, we have many training related rooms. So we will organize, rocketry, UAVs, the model maquettes. That kind of trainings will continue in the first hand. Then the second hand, when there's a roadmap for the space agency declared, we are willing to take more initiative to organize more professional trainings for the space agency.
So, I mean, first of all, that's a beautiful looking, facility. It looks like it's well built. I mean, it's well put out because it's probably been well thought out before it's been built. And it's awesome. Again, I'm just looking at some statistics here. 500 interactive devices for education purposes. Again, including aviation and space innovation and all of that's great stuff. And I think all of us, when it comes to aviation or space science, all of us, it doesn't matter how old we are, we become kids,
yeah.
So when you mentioned, so is this open for adults right now during these times, or is it closed completely now for public access?
It's completely closed for public access. I mean, we were willing to have some limited number of groups with, appointments. But unfortunately, with the new regulations against this pandemic, we are not able to do that legally at the moment. Mm-hmm. So we are waiting for further decisions to continue. In January, most probably, some of the bans might be lifted. So we are on pause now.
Hopefully, because I think a lot of people who are watching this episode, they would like to visit that, because I mean, it looks beautiful, and there's a lot of different stuff again for the kids. So at the same time, while they're visiting Turkey, they can come in here and kind of explore different things when it comes to the science. So that is beautiful, and it says top 5 in the world, best in Europe. That's on RayleighNews.com on the website. So yeah, because I mean, look, it looks phenomenal. It looks phenomenal. So whatever team have been working on this project, I mean, thank you to those people, and again, yourself, who are making these projects available and accessible to people. Of course, pandemic has to be resolved first, but I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's a beautiful piece. So
this center has the vision of the Bursa Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Got the vision like 7 years ago, and the main idea was to have the first astronaut of Turkey to be raised from Bursa. So because of that, we set up this center. So Bursa Metropolitan Municipality and the Technology Organizational Industry Zone is also partners of this project, including the Turkish Science Council is giving a generous support to our center.
Beautiful, beautiful, awesome, awesome, awesome. That's a great project, and we're looking forward to the opening times. You know when it's going to be open. So, if you don't mind me asking a few stuff, because a lot of it when it comes to space, and a lot of it is education and whatever people pursue to do in space exploration, astrophotography, astrophysics, space engineering, whatever that might be. There's a lot of different information, and again, I want to mention a couple of things here, if you don't mind. So first of all, the one that you have is Estonian-based company that's called Spaceagenda. And when you're going to go to the website, you're going to find all these 173 events in 35 countries to discover. And a lot of it is kind of related to space science as well. So can you talk about what's happening with this? I mean, in the future, is there any virtual type of events happening, like where people can expect something to come up?
Yeah, Space Agenda was the source to find out all conferences, training courses all around the world, and that's why we were classifying everything according to countries and events. Just before this pandemic started, there were almost like 400 events a year we had. But when the pandemic starts, of course, the cancellation started, or rescheduling started, and we lost many of the big events, like big events like International Astronautical Congress, or COSPAR decided to organize virtually. And first they started virtually because they were not able to do that. But now more and more we started to see some hybrid events, because many people benefited, to be able to participate to an event without going there, because it's a big cost for many companies, in order to go there, accommodation, travel, and also devoting some times. I mean, you need to talk in a congress, but you need to go to other side of the world and spend almost 1 week, like a talk like we are doing at the moment. So if you can do that virtually, why you need to spend so much money, but still, with this pandemic as well, people are willing to see more each other, because the networking is important. So in the near future, I guess, we already, almost all events on our website are online now. There are many webinars, many congress, one-day events, but online. I guess we will see more hybrid events. So of course those who wants to go will go, but at the same time there will be an online events happening at the same time with that on-site event.
Mhm. Got it. So again, people can go and check it out. Of course, we missed one that I'm seeing right now, because it's the episode has been recorded today, which is 30th of November, and today was ESA training for I think it's about software development and space software, so those type of things. So we can actually go to Space Agenda and see some future events that will be happening, because it's a great place, to train while we on a lockdown virtually, attending these type of events. So what about another place, Space TRC? Can you talk about it, what that is, and how does it work?
So before this project, I was consultant for Göktürk 1 uh, high resolution satellite project, and actually, we are doing mainly consulting business for satellite related projects, and for that I established this company in Turkey. Of course, because of the current situation, we are not continuing these things. But whenever there is a space or aviation or defense related things, space TRC continues. Mostly, we were consulting on integrated logistics supports, which are also what I like to do, the trainings, because every systems that you are building and selling to another customer, you need to do the whole filing, and also you need to prepare trainings. So that's what we were doing in that company.
Hmm. So here we go. So again, for the people who are listening, integrates logistics support. That means support is a technology in the system engineering to lower product life cycle cost and decrease demand for logistics by maintenance system optimization to ease the product support. Basically,
Yeah.
that's what it is. So can you talk about again that project? So this satellite is currently operating in orbit.
Yeah, it's currently operated, and actually, like 5th of December 2016, it was launched. So it's low Earth orbit surveillance satellites in about 700 kilometer, and so it is right now used by the Turkish military, which was also manufactured by Thales and Telespazio, Italy. So right now we hand it over. So this bird it's doing well now.
Got it. So what is a personal? I mean, is again once Turkey Space Agency is going to be developed, because I mean it's still brand new, 2 years and counting. Would you see any more space satellites getting launched? Is it going to be satellites? There's a lot of companies and private industries now launching cube satellites. So would you think it's going to be more of those satellites that Turkey is planning to launch on, or are they going to be focusing on again taking astronauts in space or something else?
No, most probably the roadmaps will continue to have more capability, including CubeSats and our other satellites, because in the first couple of years, Turkey is able to produce its own satellites. We have a nice integration center now after Göktürk 1 project, and big corporations has more capabilities. We just need to integrate the capabilities in different companies. Until now, it was not doing with a strategic decision, but with space agency, it will be more well directed, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have a couple of companies working for launch systems specifically. So recently we had 5 different tests, and we reached the Kármán line over 100 kilometer, and the next target is 400 kilometers, which we are willing to do in the next 2 years. So this is just the launch capability side. But on the other side, of course, we are able to produce our own satellites. Like Göktürk 5A will be launched in the next this month actually, which was manufactured by Airbus. But Göktürk 6A is produced nationally in here. So step by steps continue, and Turkey is in phase who can produce by its own almost everything. So that's what I like, and in the next future we will see Turkey more active, hopefully.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So of course, more and more, I mean, companies and individual companies, creating something that will kind of make those breakthrough moments again, just like SpaceX. And of course, countries have more resources and they have more control again in the finances. And sometimes, again, when it gets politics involved, that's where we lack, financing on some of the projects that should be important. But it's a little bit slow process. But talking about satellites, because I mean, talking with a lot of astrophotographers, they call it, a space junk sometimes. So what do you think, is it going to become, because now we have Elon Musk, who's planning to launch thousands of these Starlink, satellites that is going to be, is that going to give us, again, at the same time, it's going to give us access in a rural areas when we're talking about internet? Because we need the internet. I mean, I need my Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, all of that good stuff, right? But what about doing some research when it comes to, ground, observatories? And do you think those thousands of different satellites will become a problem at some point?
Well, I want to show my background like that. So I'm one of those astrophotographer. So, I can clearly see the effects on my pictures. my photographs. I mean, of course, right now it's about 60 satellites a month, but in the near future it will be 1,000, 10,000, 30,000. There are big numbers, which you can see so many at the same time, over your clouds. Of course, for wide angle, it will give a huge effect on the photos. Impossible to clean them all. But if you are doing scientific purpose, you are looking at a really tiny area, and inside of this time, of course, for astrophotographers, it's still, it can pass, but for scientific purpose you can clean this data. And actually that was the point of Elon Musk, that they can produce some algorithms that you can clean it up your data, and because when this satellite will pass or has passed in your data, so you can clean these things up. Of course, it will affect artistic sides, but scientific sides we will find some solutions to mitigate this the numbers of effect on our scientific data.
Yeah. So, because a lot of people are scared about that, because once we're going to have these thousands of the different satellites, what's going to be next? Is it going to be like one day you're just going to look up and you're going to see www just website floating, on on the orbit? Because that could be happening. Because I mean, some companies would definitely probably pitch those ideas, and I mean that kind of that doesn't sound very good, at least in my personal view. But what do you think when it comes to, again, all these different projects? I mean, is there something that you're currently seeing that you would like to share with people when it comes to, could be any specific, again, sector, as you mentioned, that you're also an astrophysicist. So anything else that people should be paying attention to, maybe they currently don't know about?
Well, we are talking about this billionaires like Elon Musk or any other companies. They are willing to put more satellites out there. But like last year, during the satellite event in DC, I listened to Elon Musk, and he was mentioning that my aim is not to bankrupt. So these people are really willing to do some things, because the communication is really important in our age, and it's not that easy to make money. I mean, we have many examples that people were putting some constellations out there for different reasons, but they all bankrupt. And then that's why, I mean, Starlink projects, it's a visionary, but there is high probability of bankruptcy again from that point of view. So when we look at these projects, they are so expensive, and we are always, when we are looking to the finance side, only like 7 to 10% are really produce. I mean, we are producing some launch systems, we are producing some satellite systems, but the income is only 10% over the whole benefits from space. So, the TV companies, the broadcasting, the ground equipments, this kind of things making more money. So from the finance point of view, really people trying to put more out there, I have a big respect, but there are more sectors who are profiting out of that and making money. So this kind of small steps are really important, because it will lead to other sectors to make more money and more income. So that's what I want to say. I don't know if I could express well, but it's really, we need to support this kind of actions, not only for space society, but also for all human beings.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you think about, again, because I'm sure you sometimes you get asked that question, because a lot of people do, any people that work in a space related projects and science stuff, they get asked that question, because now we're not long ago we've been talking about phosphine been found on Venus, and of course there's all the the rest of the moon. So when it comes to Saturn and Jupiter, so we can go and explore and maybe found some potential life form. So do you think that those type of kind of things happening in the future, in the near future, when we're going to be discovering some type of extraterrestrial type of life form?
Well, that will be really, life-changing thing. For 2020, there were many difficulties for many countries, and people were expecting also maybe an alien invasion or an asteroid hit will be the final of the year, because that was not easy. So of course, I mean, if there is something like that, I'm not talking about only the intelligence life discovery, but finding out by another life form somewhere else might be really might really challenge people on Earth in different point of view. Sooner or later we will discover, but I don't know when, I don't know how, I don't know in which form. Sooner or later, I mean, maybe hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years, but we will do.
Yeah, hopefully, because I mean, there's so much more that we didn't uncover yet, and again, all of that is going very slow. But at the same time, look, there is a lot of different companies and countries just like yours co-creating those space centers, for people, because most of the time it's what lacks is education and getting more people involved. Because the more people will get involved, the faster this kind of curve will start to go. And we need to build the momentum, because right now I think it's a great time for people to get involved with any space related projects. Again, so you should go and check it out. The websites that's going to be linked below for the events, or go and check it out and book a date for your flight to Turkey, or maybe you're close to Turkey, to go and visit the Space Center and bring your kids, bring your family, get more people involved, bring your friends. Because it's very important, and I'm sure it's personally important for you that we do these things as people, as a community together all over the world. So what do you think? Again, when it comes to future projects in general in space, would you say like is there something else coming up? It could be space, again, private company or kind of space agency that people should be looking forward to. A lot of people talking about Artemis and again Mars. So is there something going on besides that as well?
Uh, I mean, not in my knowledge, something really, really interesting. So ongoing things, after 1970s, the same targets are on spots, like the moon, Mars. I mean, still the technology, we are trying to launch rockets with the lower cost, trying to put more lifelong satellites out there, and still the same thing, we are just trying to improve. So far I couldn't see really visionary actions yet.
Got it. So last two questions that I have for you personally, because I thought I wanted to ask this question again. In your personal career so far, what would you consider as kind of your biggest achievement so far?
My biggest achievement, oh, it's hard to say, but I mean, this center is definitely one of my biggest achievements. But of course, it's not the end. I mean, I'm really willing to set an astronaut training center. I mean, a professional astronaut training center. We are not from far away from Istanbul, by the way. I mean, Bursa is really very close, like 1 hour from Istanbul. So we are in the middle of the the Earth connecting flights. So I'm really willing to set up a center in here for the international groups. And yeah, I mean, it's hard to say when you say like that. I'm willing that other people say my achievements other than I say I do this.
Definitely I agree with you, because it's hard for us to personally evaluate ourselves on that.
Mm.
But again, yeah, definitely I agree. Like this current center, the GUHEM center, is definitely a huge achievement. I mean, for yourself personally, for the people, for the community, for Turkey in general. So, and now you're looking to build again this training facility for astronauts to being launched on orbit. So, I mean, there's a lot of different exciting stuff that will be coming up in the future, and those will be some big achievements, for you personally as well. So besides all of that, I mean, that you're getting involved with all these different projects, I mean, what is the personal legacy that you want to leave behind you as well?
Can you define more like legacy thing? I think I didn't
I would
get
say
it, your question completely.
legacy is like a footprint. Let's say something that you will leave for the people that would say, okay, wow, this man accomplished this.
Yeah, I mean, for during the pandemic time, I was not able to do anything, for like many people, and I was more spending time on social media, doing also like kind of this YouTube videos, and for many years that's happening the same after every trainings. I am trying to touch to people, especially young people. I'm receiving lots of emails, and the new generation really like to DM me, and I'm trying to respond people, because every people that you respond, you are giving a light to them to continue forward. So from this point of view, I really, I guess my footprint will be the people that I could touch in the future, so they can do, maybe they can be the next astronauts of Turkey via the small encouragements that I could give them.
That is beautiful. Being the light for the people, as I said. So that is beautiful.
Yeah.
So make sure again to follow Halit, and again all the websites and the social media, her personal stuff, again Instagram and the rest of the things. And make sure to get in contact with Halit, as you hear it currently, or you see that he would be available for the people if they have questions, they're looking to do something in space related projects. So make sure to follow him, follow his journey, go and check it out, the GOHEM again Space Center. And for the future events, go and check it out, Spaceagenda, and of course all these websites are going to be down there. And the last thing that I wanted to ask you guys and girls, if you pass this episode along to any friend, could be any friend, doesn't matter, love him, hate him, just pass this episode, because that person needs to see this for one reason, because there should be more and more people who should be involved with space related projects. And again, people like to travel, so maybe one day you're going to be traveling to Turkey. Here we go, there's going to be a great space facility for them to come into and learn more again. But there's more besides that, again, with free online stuff and trainings as well. So make sure to do that. Again, Halit, personally, big thank you for coming over today, for sharing your personal journey, passion, and why people should get involved more with the space related projects. So appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It was great to be with you.
Thank you guys. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time, and don't forget, keep exploring.